You know what old Jack Burton always says at a time like this?
Come on, then. I'll bite your legs off!
I can take it. Great power comes great responsibility. We have a hope.
Get to the chopper! And leave. Just a flesh wound. I am the father.
Skin! 沖縄に緊急審査出現！彼に歌舞伎が千鳥にも！撃て！
震度 6.7 ヘクメートル！限界です！
地球の諸君、君たちは家畜だ。地球上に全怪獣を投下し、全文明を破壊せよ。
The most destructive weapon on Earth.
南極。
Hideachi. This final mission will decide the fate of the human race. This is Operation Final War.
ゴジラめ、お前の強さを確かめさせてもらう。
俺たちは家畜じゃない。人間だ。
Godzilla Final Wars. さらば、ゴジラ.
And welcome back to the 61st episode of the Monster Movie Stompdown. Of course, you got your host Sludge here, my co-host across from me
is Mark,
our brother from Texas,
Ruben.
You know, Ruben, I gotta say, I'm loving Texas. Like, I can't decide right now, and we don't really get political in this show on who I want to run for president next, the next go around. But man, I love Abbott. Like, he is awesome.
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, dude,
he's been. Yep,
that dude's a beast.
Yep. I really like what he's doing, man. I'm like, man, all right.
Who is it? Matthew McConaughey? Is that what he says?
Yeah, he's talking about running.
Talking about running there. I think he that's not very politically smart, I think, right now, because Abbott is so powerful, so popular in what he's doing.
Well, and again, not to get political, but Texas Democrats love personality. That's why Beto O'Rourke got a big old, made a run for the money at Ted Cruz. They like guys with personality, like people with personality, not so much with expertise in politics or whatever. So Matthew McConaughey is just a name.
Yeah.
Right.
To them. And it's, I'm just going to vote for him because he's Matthew McConaughey. They could, and I'm like, that's not really smart, like you said, but it is what it is. I don't know if it's actually going to happen though, because, right now, man, Abbott is on fire.
Yeah. He's doing a great job.
Really on fire.
Great job of that. One of the states that are recovering good, doing well. Let's mix all the craziness. So if he can just talk them into bringing it in and out,
well, that's that's the one thing. Luckily, the in and out didn't come up while Abbott was governor, so I'll give him a little back. It's creeping down. It's only made it as far south as San Marcos. And as long as it stays up there, then we're okay.
Hey. At least In and Out hasn't sold out to the major chains yet. Okay, I mean, unlike what?
Wait a minute.
What a burger?
Wait a minute. In and Out is a major. Isn't In and Out a major chain?
You know what I mean? Big corporate machine.
Yeah,
that's what Whataburger's become now. Big corporate machine.
And that was believe it or not, man, that was a big to do down here in Texas. man, when Whataburger sold to that Chicago, Illinois company, it was, man, it's like, it's like Lucifer just, showed up, and it was just like, oh my God, people were freaking out, and it was all
you do this?
It was just like, man, I'm like, really? I mean, hold on now, let's see what, and so far nothing's changed down here.
Hey, as long as they don't change the product,
yeah, they haven't changed anything down here.
Because they're bringing one to Nashville, and if I can't get in and out, I will settle for Whataburger whenever I go out to Nashville.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's really got, I mean, I can't describe how bad it got. It was like a revolt. It was like remember the Alamo, man. I was waiting for for the Tennessee Volunteers to show up, man, and
remember the Whataburger.
It was bad, and it's funny. We doing this show, and I always tell people, I said, what's funny is it's Texas and Tennessee. I said, in Texas history, if it wasn't for Tennessee, there probably wouldn't be any Texas history.
That's right. So we deserve
a
Whataburger and an In-N-Out and a few other things from over there.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
man, Pizza Ranch, those buffet pizza places. Do you have any near you?
No, we don't.
I think there maybe
we don't have any buffet pizza places anymore.
Oh man, where was it? It was like somewhere in northern Texas, I think, is where I found a Pizza Ranch, and that may be. I don't know how many there are, but anyways, it was a buffet place called Pizza Ranch, and that pizza was the bomb, man. Their spinach artichoke pizza. One of the best pizzas.
Man,
it's so good.
That's not pizza. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's not pizza.
Well,
spinach artichoke. Come on, man. Get the greasy pepperoni, the
they
sausage.
There you go.
Just
and and I'm gonna get controversial. No pineapple.
Oh no,
whatever.
Are you kidding me? You eat pineapple.
Okay, the moment you two make it to New York City and go to Tony's and get you a slice of Hawaiian.
Hey, watch what's going to be happening now.
Pineapple.
Keep an eye on eBay because Chase's Zilla is going to go up for sale soon. Yes.
Hey, yeah. So let's talk about it before. So, by the way, guys, I know we're kind of ranting here, just having fun.
I know. We
do have Final Wars coming, but we have something to discuss. So if y'all remember watching back on Christmas, I had bought, and I didn't buy, it was given to me because I told the guy at the flea market, I'm not paying for it, but he gave it to me anyways. That little tiny 2-inch Zilla figure from the 98 film. Gave it to him, to Mark, made the video. Y'all seemed to love it. I got a lot of good response on it. Well, for my birthday this year, Mark decided to gift it back to me for my birthday gift. And so I'm like, man, so we got to do something with this thing. And I was going to find a way to keep it rolling. I had actually thought about shipping it out to Ruben and not telling Ruben until it showed up. But then going through one of the Facebook pages that I'm in, the Godzilla pages, I think it was Ruben, was it the Trendmasters page? It was the Trendmasters page. I think it popped up in.
Yeah, it was.
Someone took a screenshot of one of those it was going for $102 on eBay. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? And so I go to look, and it was made by Hardee's, Carl's Jr., and it was put in a kids meal. Well, it's been well over a decade since Hardee's has done a kids meal, period. But so back then they still had the kids meals, and it came in the kids meal for it. And I went scouring the internet for this thing and could not find one anywhere except for that one that was on eBay. And it went for almost I think for like 150, 170. It wasn't quite as good shape as the one that I've got was in, and or I no longer have it. It's no longer in the house. So I slapped that mug on eBay, and we kept an eye on this thing. And then the last 8 minutes, it went from like $80. And I was like, dude, $80? I mean, I paid nothing for this. This is great. And I hate the movie, so I don't want it anyways. And $80, I'll take it. $213 is what it finalized at. I was like, heck yes, I will make some profit off a turd like that. I mean, if turd makes you money.
The thing that bothers me is that it was a heartfelt gift from me.
Yes, it was. That's what I say.
It was. Yeah. And that kind of crushed me there.
It's all right. There's still wheels turning in the head as far as keeping this thing going.
I texted Sludge and said, man, Mark's probably back in his office sobbing.
Softly. It was bad.
And I was just waiting for him to message me to go, that's my money, right? I'm like, no, you gave it back.
Lordy.
But yeah, so for whatever reason, some people are willing to pay high dollar for the Turdzilla. But I get with that one, I guess I get it because I mean it is extremely rare. I mean, a lot of a lot of Happy Meal or kids meals toys do go for pretty high dollar because you just can't find them. You know what I mean? Like I've got my Frankenstein and my Creature from Black Lagoon ones from Burger King, and those things are just impossible to find anymore. So those go for 50, 60, up to $100. I just kind of blew me away with that one. I was like, wow. You know, I was expecting that maybe $100, but when it finished and I saw a total of $213, I was like, holy crap, this is crazy.
Yeah, he was real big. He was real big on thanking me. Thanks for gifting that back to me. Thanks, man.
Appreciate that.
Here, let me kick you. Let me kick you.
Put that in the pocket. So, all right. So we're on to the next Godzilla film with Final Wars, the 50th anniversary movie. This was supposed to be the big bang to end off the series for Toho. They wanted to kind of go with the Destroy All Monsters vibe. They brought in a great new director who had made his big debut in 2000 with a movie called Versus. That is absolutely phenomenal movie, cult classic film. Actually, it's on Criterion Collection. Arrow just released a brand new deluxe edition Blu-ray for it not too long ago. But a director named Ryuhei Kitamura. Now, Ryuhei Kitamura, or Ryuhei, I should say, huge Japanese director. He did Versus, he did Alive, he did Azumi, all phenomenal movies. He has crossed over and done American films as well. He did an amazing horror movie called No One Lives. He did a newer one not too long ago called Downgrade, which was absolutely amazing. But of course, he did a Clive Barker story. He did Midnight Meat Train with Vinnie Jones, which was a phenomenal movie. So, I mean, the dude is top notch. I mean, he is an amazing director, and his visual style, which definitely shows up in this movie, is one that's very hard to miss. So they brought him in to direct the film. Of course, now Shogo Tomiyama produced it as well again. You got a lot of familiar faces showing up in this one. Kumi Mizuno, as far as classics, Kumi Mizuno, Kenji Sahara's in it, Akira Takarada's in it. You got the infamous cult hero Don Fry is in this movie, which is absolutely amazing. But you also have a lot of, in smaller roles, you do have several of Ryuhei's kind of go-to guys, because if you watch Ryuhei's movies, especially his Japanese films, Versus and Azumi or Alive, and some of those films, he uses a lot of the same actors. So in small roles, mostly as Zillion or mutants in the movie, Tak Sakaguchi, who's he's the main character in Versus and in Alive, and he's in a lot of big movies. Actually, he just did one not too long ago called Reborn that was unreal. But he is known as pretty much the biggest fight choreographer over in Japan, actually. Not just Japan, actually in Japan, South Korea. I think has done work in China. I mean, he's an unreal martial artist. And that's what he does most of the time is fight choreography, but he's a great actor. A new movie just came out not too long ago called Crazy Musashi, or Crazy Samurai Musashi. And everyone's probably seen it at Walmart because they brought it over here. And it's like about an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes long. And it is one continuous shot where Musashi, the samurai in this movie, played by Tak Sakaguchi, fights 400 other samurai in one continuous shot. There's no breaks. He goes boom to boom to boom. I mean, 400 people he fights.
Pretty
in this movie.
crazy.
And I don't know anybody else who could do it other than Tak Sakaguchi. I mean, the dude's just an athletic like none other. A phenomenal actor, great fighter.
One shot, is that an actual fight or?
Yes.
Wow.
You're talking that you get like
you
like 5 minutes. 5 minutes of like a quick setup of the storyline, and then he shows up and starts killing people. And it is an hour and a half of one camera shot. There's one camera the entire movie once the fight starts, and it's all on him, and it never stops. Never stops. And he goes through
worth watching.
Oh, dude, it's
there.
epic. It is amazing. But so anyways, Tak Sakaguchi makes a small role towards the end of the film as one of the Zillion aliens. We'll talk about the plot in a minute, as well as Hideo Sakaki. He's from the movies Versus, and he's done some other movies as well. And then another character, Yuichiro Arai, who I'm sorry, not Yuichiro, it's Minoru Matsumoto, who was the crazy psycho Yakuza guy in Versus, who's one of my favorite Japanese actors ever. So it's cool because, I mean, you had all these classic Toho Godzilla actors show up, and then Ryuhei brought a lot of his crew in for the movie, which is really cool. So I mean, the movie, very much like, I mean, it is just a combination of Godzilla, Invasion of the Astro Monster, or Godzilla vs. Monster Zero, and Destroy All Monsters. It's pretty much just those two movies squashed into one. It's in the 21st century, and we come to find out that there is a new type of human. They're called mutants because they have an additional gene that they call the M gene, and they share this gene with monsters. A lot of monsters have this gene as well. And so you've got the Earth Defense Force, which are made up of a bunch of elite battleships resembling Gotengo. Of course, you've got the new Gotengo, which is the main ship in the movie, who's piloted by Don Fry's character and the Keanu Reeves lookalike Masahiro Masuoka, who's Ozaki, the main character. He's a mutant, and he struggles with his place in the world, I guess. You know what I mean? His role, because mutants are supposed to do nothing but fight and kill, but he doesn't always want to, and he struggles with that. Well, so very beginning of the movie, they're fighting Godzilla in Gotengo, and they bury him in the ice in Antarctica, and then gives you a little intro about the mutants, and then you get several years later, and the Gotengo's fighting a revamped version of Manda that looks absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, the monsters in this movie look great.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, aliens show up out of nowhere. Zillions. Actually, all these monsters start showing up. Rodan and Anguirus and Zilla and Kamacuras and Kumanga. I mean, just the whole Toho smorgasbord is thrown in.
Yeah.
And they're trying to start fighting them and stopping them. Actually, there's a pretty cool fight scene between the mutants from the Earth Defense Force of Ozaki's crew fighting Ebra, which is pretty cool to see these guys fighting an actual monster. But all of a sudden, these aliens show up and the monsters disappear. They make the monsters disappear. And the aliens are here touting they want peace. Of course, we know that's a load of crap because they never want peace. And they want to use us as cattle. We're food for them. And so they end up unleashing every monster in the Pantheon for this film and start attacking the world and destroy almost all of mankind. And a small group of the remaining heroes and main characters, Don Fry, again, Ozaki's character, Kira Takarada's, Kenji Sahara's, they decided to give one more go to fight off the aliens and save Earth. And they think the way to do this, the only way to be able to do it, is to wake Godzilla, because the aliens are unaware of Godzilla's existence, because they came to the planet like thousands and thousands of years ago before Godzilla was born, so they have no idea about him. And they unleash Godzilla, and of course Godzilla wakes up, and the last thing on his mind was fighting Gotengo. He wakes up, destroys Gigan, sees Gotengo, and thinks their battle's still going. So they use that to lure him around the world to fight off and kill all the monsters. And then it comes back to one big final battle between Godzilla and this new monster called Monster X for the Zillions. He's teamed up with the new revamped Gigan. Mothra shows up to take on Gigan, and while the human characters are fighting the Zillions on their big mothership, with a guy who looks like a live-action version of Vegeta, and we get crap tons of Matrix and John Carpenter throw-ins and cult classic movie stuff. This movie is an amaglam like none other. Tons of monster action. I mean, as we go through the film, of course, and then unfortunately in the mix you get Godzilla's son, who plays, I guess, a point or a role or whatever. After Godzilla and Don Fry and all of them defeat the Zillions, Godzilla defeats Monster X, or so he thinks. Monster X turns into Kaiser Ghidorah, a four-legged version of Ghidorah that just puts a stomping on Godzilla at first, but then all of a sudden Ozaki, Keanu Reeves Jr., jumps into Gotengo and somehow manages to shoot an infinite amount of energy into Godzilla's back, and Godzilla overpowers Kaiser Ghidorah, obliterates him, then again turns his rage on Gotengo, and he's ready to take out Gotengo, and the human characters come out of the ship and they're standing there. Don Fry with his awesome sword, Ozaki, Keanu Reeves Jr. stand there too, and it's like they're going to go toe to toe. Then here comes Minya, and he's like, holds his arms up. And he's like, oh no, Dad, please, let's save these humans. And I'm like, come on, you're ruining the film. And then Godzilla and Minya walk off, and into the sunset, and bam, into the 50th anniversary film. Movie's absolutely bonkers insane. There's no question about that. There's a ton of monsters. Let's make sure I don't miss anybody. So we know we got Godzilla, and then we've got we've got Kamacuras, Kumanga, Anguirus, King Caesar. We've got Zilla. We've got Rodan, Mothra, Ebera, the Smog Monster, Gigan, 2 versions of him, and then we got the new Monster X, and then Kaiser Ghidorah. Did I hit everybody?
I believe so.
King Caesar. There they are, right there.
Oh, there's a list. Okay, yeah. I didn't miss. Oh, and Manda. We got Manda at the beginning, and then of course you got Minya, unfortunately, or Manila, who makes a show up. And he starts off little, like human size, like in Godzilla's Revenge. Then he eventually grows up after he blows one of those little pansy puff circle things.
Well, you got to be hard on him. I mean,
man,
I know it.
I mean,
it's not his fault.
What, he didn't get $213 off of eBay for you? Is that what the problem is?
He's too dumb to get $213. Okay, just going straight up to say it. He has never been one of my favorite characters in the Pantheon. The movie's absolutely insane. So it came out in December of. It actually premiered. Most people may not be aware of this, in Los Angeles before it premiered in Japan. So it premiered in Japan in December, but in November it premiered in Los Angeles. The reason why is because before the release of the movie, Godzilla got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yes.
And so to receive his star, they actually used Tsutagama Kitagawa, the guy who plays Godzilla in this movie, and the rest of the Millennium series, except for GMK. He played him in 2000, Megaguirus, and then the 2 Megagodzilla films. He wore the suit in LA in the Walk of Fame, and he was there for receiving the star, and then they premiered the movie in LA.
That's awesome.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But it did come out here in Japan December 4th, around the time most of them do. The movie had a massive budget, an almost $2 billion or 2 billion yen. Yeah. The largest budget of any Godzilla film from Japan, I should say, at the time. Previously, none of them had. Unfortunately, did not make that back initially in the theaters in Japan. It made a little less, like 1.6 or something like that.
1.260.
Well, yeah, so 1.26 billion is what it made
in Japan.
Because
worldwide
it broke. It did like
2.4 billion.
Yeah, it did a little over its budget. Yeah. But in Japan, no, it was kind of a big tank. Probably because of how chaotic the movie was. The movie's 2 hours long, and I mean, there's just a lot going on in this movie. A ton of things going on in this film. To me, this movie was it was an amaglam, man. I mean, you got a lot of stuff. I mean, again, like the main character, Ozaki, he is supposed to be, and they got an actor that it's like they're like, we don't even care if you can act. We just need to see who looks closest to Keanu Reeves, and we need to put him in this lead role. Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of the stuff's very Matrix style as far as whether they dress, the long trench coats, the glasses.
Yeah.
The fighting style's a lot like it. I mean, there's literally one scene there at the end when Ozaki kind of comes back to his senses because for a moment, the Kaiser, the main Zillion, tells him the reason why he's different and that he can't control him like he can control the rest of the mutants is because he's actually another Kaiser, and he awakens the power within him. And when he does, then he can control him for a little bit, but then he ends up getting knocked in the back by this little sword cross thing that the Cosmos, the Elias twins, give one of the characters, and she stabs him in the back, and he's like, "Oh, I snapped out of it." And then all of a sudden, the Zillions start firing all their guns on the human characters, and he puts his hands up and stops them, just like the bullet scene from Matrix. I mean, it's literally the exact same scene.
Yeah, here's a clue on where Sludge is going with his stomps tonight. So just to let you guys know. All right.
So, I mean, the movie itself, I'll just go ahead and start going with what I like on this thing. Is absolute bat crazy insanity. This movie. You go back and you look at Godzilla vs. Smog Monster, and you're like, well, this movie's nuts. That ain't nothing compared to Final Wars. Final Wars is just absolutely bonkers from the word go. Now, the initial opening sequence with Godzilla and Antarctica, Final is pretty freaking sweet. The opening credit sequence is the bomb, and then it just goes off the rails for about an hour until they wake Godzilla up again. Because you kind of get a lot of, I mean, it's very convoluted. It's very spaghetti Western in a lot of areas. There's mixing the mutants with the aliens and the newscaster shows that happen on it. I mean, it's odd. The whole movie's odd. And then trying to throw in a million side plots, like Ozaki's, not wanting to fight, but they were born to fight. And you got the girl who's a little tiny love story going on there.
Are we on the things you liked? Is that where we were at?
No, I'm just going
okay.
off the movie. Okay. This is not what I like. Sorry. I'm trying to discuss
I thought that's what he said. I'll just go with the things I like.
It's absolutely insane. Okay. Like, I don't know how to me, it's almost impossible to put into a review what all just goes on in this film. So, but
there is a lot going on.
Oh, it's absolutely going on. Crazy.
There's like, I don't know what, like 5 storylines at the same time.
Yeah, 5 storylines, 36 subplots. I mean, who knows what else happening? But I mean, eventually Godzilla shows up. I mean, they're like, okay, Don Fry's like, we're waking Godzilla up, and I love it too because Don Fry is what saves the movie most of the time. When Godzilla shows up and he makes the phone call, the video call to Kaiser, the main alien guy, and he's like, "There's 2 things you didn't know about Earth. One of them's me, and the other's Godzilla." I'm like, Don Fry. I mean, that's probably what made me the most mad about the movie was Minya, and the reason why Minya pisses me off more than anything else is when Godzilla's ready to go toe to toe with them, and Don Fry pulls his sword out. I'm like. And Minya gets away. I'm like, get out of the way, Minya. I want to see Don Fry go sword to claws with Godzilla here. It's just, I mean, this movie is, I don't cuss anymore, but it's freaking bonkers, man. It's insane. But when Godzilla shows up, it's great because it's nonstop action. I mean, he literally goes just through each one of these monsters like they're absolutely nothing. I mean, he wipes Zilla out to some 41's we're all to blame in like 42 seconds.
Yeah.
And then just goes from there to, fighting Kumanga and taking out Anguirus and Rodan. Takes out Anguirus, Rodan, and King Zazar all in one swell move.
Yeah.
I like when Zilla gets destroyed. And then the alien or the mutant, he just loses his mind. He loses his mind there. He's screaming and crying. I thought,
and he's like, shouldn't have trusted that tuna fish eating whatever,
I knew that tuna eater was up to no good.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's good from there on at that point. Minus still some of the crazy, the insane Matrix cheesiness. That is way over the top. And then like Kaiser, when he powers up or whatever, he literally looks like they went from Matrix to Dragon Ball Z because his hair goes all Super Saiyan like, And I'm like, it's a live action Vegeta is what I'm seeing here at this point. But the guy who plays Kaiser actually has a lot of a cool character to him. Like his acting's really cool. Like when Ozaki realizes and fully embraces his power or whatever as a Kaiser. And then the alien guy can't touch him. He's like trying to hit him and he's dodging like it's nothing. Again, hello, Mr. Anderson. It's totally Matrix. But then like he'll like Ozaki punches him in the face one time and doesn't even really move. And then he puts his fingers up to his face. Is like, give me just a moment. And it turns around, and then like comes back at him again. He's got some good character to him. But there was just so much going on in this movie. But the fight scenes were great, especially the monster fight scenes. This is the thinnest Godzilla suit we've ever seen for mobility because he moves. He books it and he does some fighting. I mean, again, martial arts style fighting in this, especially when it comes down to the fight scene with Monster X, which I think was shot beautifully well. The Tokyo has never been demolished like it has in this film. And the cinematography when it comes to the fight between Godzilla against Monster X and then Gigan as well, and then Kaiser Ghidorah was handled extremely well. That was done super, super, super good shots, and I love the camera angles. It was still pretty cool. I mean, Ozaki's over top of Kaiser on the ship, and he's like punching him in the face. And then while that's going on the big screen behind him, you see Godzilla over top Monster X, and he's punching him in the face the same way. Some cool little things like that for the film. It's highly entertaining. Don Fry saves the movie constantly with his cheesy cult, acting. Yeah. That's just absolutely amazing. But this movie was just, to me, there was more negatives than there was positives. Although the positives thankfully outweighed the negatives in the film, because this was a convoluted mess. I feel like Toho was like, we wanted this, and then we want this, and we want that, and we want that, and Ryuya Kitamura. Because when you go and watch anything else by his, you're like, what happened? like he makes gold. Every movie that man has ever put his hands on is pure freaking gold. I don't know what happened with this movie other than Toho was like, you can't do this, you can do that, you can't do this. I feel like that's probably what happened, because I don't see him screwing the pooch on the Godzilla film any other way. But it's nuts. It's absolutely insanity from the beginning to the end. So it's at least entertaining. But to me, the moment Godzilla shows up to the end of the film, till Minya shows up at the end of the film, that's the chunk. That's the best part. When I watch it, I did go back and watch the whole movie, but usually when I watch it again, I usually watch just that section of the movie. I watch from when they break Godzilla out of Antarctica with the two guys that are living there, the black dude with the Hawaiian shirt and the other guy, who are the two worst actors on earth, by the way. Absolutely horrible. When they wake him up until he destroys Kaiser Ghidorah, that's what I watch. I watch that part because it's awesome. So, I love the suits. Every monster looks spectacular in this. Even Toho even did a pretty decent job at Zilla. Because they don't do
I think
CGI.
that's the big thing. Yeah, there's no CGI other than
Zilla,
other than your friend.
Name my friend
made you $213.
Ain't my friend.
I think that's what
my friend made me $213.
There we go. I told you.
Go. So
here it comes.
For a little bit there, if I can make money off of him.
So I think they make that pretty spectacular. The fact that they don't use CGI
for anybody except him. And that was a staple scene. Yeah. That was Toho saying there is one king, there is one Godzilla, and it ain't you. At all. So that was a pivotal, amazing scene in the movie. But other than that, I'm really torn on this film because to me it's entertaining, but holy crap, I've never had to sit through a convoluted mess like this ever.
I liked it. Obviously, I liked it. Obviously, I liked it. I liked it.
This is actually
I didn't give it the rating that you did. Let's put it that way. And I thought it was crazy. And there is a lot of action in it, and there's a lot of good things in it. Sorry, I'm with you on that. Okay,
I enjoyed Zilla on screen more than I did Minya.
I told you this is all coming to light. This is all coming to light here on that
fat chunky little.
The soundtrack on it, the music in it. Keith Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Yep.
He writes the soundtrack. Sum 41.
Yep.
Is a part of the Godzilla and Zilla fight, which. They make a kind of a big deal about it, and they kind of got top billing as far as in the credits.
Yeah.
But what did it last? 42 seconds?
42 seconds it's over. So you get one chorus and that's all.
So, there's not a lot there. But I think overall, the movie was enjoyable. And especially if you like the actions and seeing Godzilla kick some behind, because that's what he does.
Nonstop. It is
without a doubt
domino effect.
And I think, it's one of the things I asked you before we started the show is that, did they purposely make this Godzilla stronger or meaner than the normal? And of course, what we read on it is, yes, they did. They did it on purpose, being the 50th anniversary. They want, he's the king of the monsters.
Yeah.
They come out and he just kicks tail, man. He just does what he does. And I think a lot of why maybe Toho did this movie this way was because that's the point they wanted to get across. The point they wanted to make that he is the king of the monsters, and especially no American Zilla is going to last any time with him.
Not all.
But I think the acting can get cheesy, and you deal with it. And because it's a Godzilla movie, but for them to go out and say, okay, we're bringing everybody in. Here we go. This is it. This is how we're going out. I thought they did a great job. I really enjoyed it, and I thought overall the movie was a 4. And I held those fingers up. It was a 4. So that's where I'm at.
Ruben, what about
this
you?
is not for the fourth quarter.
No, that's right. It was a 4, and even though I'm out $213, I'm still enjoying the movie.
You gifted that thing back.
Yeah.
Yeah. All you, Ruben.
Well, hey, I enjoyed this movie so much. Yeah, it's corny and it's got bad acting, but that's what makes it a Godzilla movie. You know, most Godzilla movies, I'll watch the Japanese, and then I'll turn on the the dubbing, and I'll listen to it, and it's usually silly. This one, I'd rather have the English dub because it's funnier. It's just so dang funny, and that. You know, the regular alien laugh versus that kid versus the dub alien laugh is just the dumbest thing you'll ever hear in your life as far as a laugh goes. But I'm like, you know what? I think I'd rather have the dub on just for the entertainment value of the dubbing because it's terrible. Now, of course, I guess you guys know like the fry part and all the English parts are actually in English. They're not even dubbed.
Yeah.
Right.
They're just they're in English. So, you know, when there's a battle and Fry's barking out commands, he's really barking them in English. There's no dubbing there. That's it. So that part's done perfectly.
Well, even the scene in New York with the cop and the pimp there.
Yeah.
You know, that's all English.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all English. And I did read that they dubbed over the cop because he dropped the F-bomb a few times and Toho didn't really speak that. Yeah. So they dubbed over that. And you can still see it in his lips when your lips are moving. But, you know.
Tired New Yorker and expect him to talk clean.
Typical New York cop, you know, like, well, so, but yeah, so that part, but it's just so, you know, I watched both and I said, you know what, the English dub is still more entertaining. And I know I've mentioned it on the show. I'll turn on the subtitles and the dub at the same time so I can see what the translation is and how much they changed it. And they changed it quite a bit. The dubbed version versus what's really being said, at least per the version I saw, the Blu-ray, they changed it quite a bit, but I liked it. I like this. And now this director loves the Showa era, and it shows.
He does. Yeah.
Because he brought all the Showa era monsters, all of he could back.
I think he correct me if I'm wrong, but when they did an interview with him at some point, and he stated that he actually didn't like the
heisty,
he wanted to direct it because he was a fan of the 70s era. Which I mean shows. I mean, this movie is a spaghetti western. It's a 70s movie for sure.
Right. But at the same time, he westernized it, for lack of a better term. You mentioned it. You know, he made it, he threw, to me, he's like threw in he threw in the Matrix a lot in there. The soundtrack's very west. When I say western, I mean, this part of the pond, not the eastern part of the Pacific. And there's aliens replacing humans. I'm like, what is this, the body snatchers? We got all kinds of stuff going on. That's what I'm saying. There's all this, there's all these subplots going on, but man, it's just so much fun. And this is one of the movies that came out when RJ was still a little kid, and so it has good memories with me, because I remember when it finally got released, man. I went in and I think I pre-ordered it off Amazon back then, and it came in. He was just so excited for it, and so it's one of his favorites.
It's actually Jada's favorite Godzilla film.
I was going to bring that up. Yeah,
I mean, he pretty much said, he comes out and says that's one of my favorite ones. That's just one of my favorite ones. And as far as the Minya part, I have a sentimental story about RJ, and it has nothing to do really with Minya, but it does. When RJ was a kid, he just rambled on, all kinds of stories or whatever. So one time he's taught, I have two sentimental stories about Godzilla and him. The first one is that, he's going on and on for his story, and I'm just sitting there. And I remember a scene from the movie when the kid's saying, I think I'm going to call him Minya. And then his grandpa looks at him and says, whatever. I don't know if you guys remember that part.
Yeah.
So RJ's rambling on, and he's talking about something. I don't even remember what it is. And I just look at him and I went, whatever. And he just burst out laughing. Because it was just, I just kind of like, all right, whatever you say, son. And my second sentimental story has nothing to do with that. He was like 7th grade. It's funny, Godzilla's involved in this. And I think I told y'all, we have a tradition in December when I go on vacation, usually he would go on vacation. So we would just take a day and just watch Godzilla movies all day long. It would be our Godzilla day, and it was always during Christmas. Well, this particular Christmas, it was like he was I think he was in 7th grade. Yeah, 7th grade. Well, there was all this girl drama with him. There was 2 girls and they both wanted to go to the dance with him and he didn't know what to do. And I'm sitting there watching Godzilla and I'm trying to enjoy Godzilla and he comes out of his room and he starts talking about, well, what do? She wants me to take her to the dance, but I think I want to go with this one. And I look at him, I said, man, you're ruining my whole Godzilla experience here. Could you just cut it out? And so now every time there's drama, I said, man, you're ruining my whole Godzilla viewing experience here, man. You need to fix it because you're ruining that. I don't care what goes on in your private life. You just need to fix it so I can watch my movies. But
this is what's important.
That's what's important. I do just figure it out later. Just sit down and watch Godzilla with me. But this movie just holds a lot of sentimental value, even with all its flaws. I still gave it 4 stomps. And I did struggle with it. I will say I did struggle with it because you know how I am, guys. I try to stack movies against each other and okay, well, how does this one, if I give this one a 4, am I talking down this other one? But the sentimental value on this one for me gave it a 4. The Showa era monsters that were done so well, that did it for me too. I mean, I just love seeing all those monsters. I mean, they were all there. It's down to the smog monster, down to am I going to get it out? The spider, Kamanga. I can't get it out. Yeah, Kamanga. You had the other one, the freaking
Kamacuras.
Yeah, Kamacuras is the one I was trying to get out. And I mean, you had it all. You had the sea monster. You had it. I mean, God, I was like, oh, this is so awesome seeing them all on screen, even though it was just for a brief moment. You know what I'm saying? It was still cool seeing Amanda got probably more screen time than a lot of them did, I think.
Yeah, Amanda looked awesome in this movie.
Yeah, Amanda looked really cool in this movie. And I really didn't dig the Matrix part of it at all. I thought it was too much of a, I guess, lack of a better phrase, ripoff. I thought they could have done better. But then again, the aliens look they're like, oh, well, let's look at Godzilla versus Monster Zero and just pretty much just change the costume color up a little bit and we'll use that costume because that's what they look like to me. But I mean, the negative parts really don't outweigh what I liked about it. So that's why I gave it a 4 because of the sentimental value of it and seeing all the Showa era monsters on there. And you're right, it's a hot mess. It is a hot mess. But if you want to see just, monster action and the creature design for Monster X was awesome. I loved it.
Monster X looked great.
Yeah, I loved it. I didn't like Kaiser Ghidorah.
I'm with you.
Don't dig it. Don't dig it. Yeah, I don't dig it. But Monster X, man, I thought that was just the coolest design. I'm like, it was original. I guess.
Yeah,
it was a very original monster design. I'm like, there it is, man. There's no rip off there. There's no, we're going to reuse a costume and just spray paint it or do something. It was straight up a new design and it was awesome.
Oh, it was great.
Gigan too, man. Gigan looked great.
Oh man, like the dual chainsaw arms.
Oh yeah.
The second row.
Yeah, and that was just. And I always have a debate with my nephew because my nephew calls him Mecha Gigan.
Okay.
He's always called him Mecha. He's Mecha Gigan. He's not really Gigan. I said, no, they call him Gigan in the movie. They just redid it. No, he's Mecha Gigan. He's separate from the other Gigan. And we just have this whole debate about whether he's Mecha Gigan and I said, when did they ever call him Mecha Gigan? Name one time they called him Mecha Gigan. I said, is there a toy with him? It says Mecha Gigan on there somewhere. And no, I'm like, well then he's not. No. I said, well, then he's not Mecha Gigan. He's Gigan. Although he is Mecha.
This is true.
But he's not totally, organic. No, he's not Mecha though. So we'll have that whole debate. But yeah, Gigan's design was cool, and so was Monster X's. Both very, even Gigan was an offshoot of it was still a great design.
Oh yeah.
So all in all, I'm trying to see if I did. I took a couple of notes on it. Oh, one very important note. Why, Mark, I think I know what that 3 comes from. He's just not going to tell us. You know that fat kid that's got chocolate all over his face in that one scene, and he's fighting with the monsters.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed. I don't know if you noticed. He had a turtle in his hand.
Ooh.
And he threw that turtle in the fire, and he said, yeah, does he say you suck or something? And he throws that turtle in the fire.
I didn't know. I'm going to go back and see that.
Yes, he's got all these monsters. He's got all these monsters in front of him, and then there's a turtle.
Yeah.
And
jab at Gamma.
A jab at Gamma. I say, you know what? That's what those 3 stars are at. Yeah.
No, if I'd have seen that, it would have dropped 2.
It. Oh, yeah. It could get ugly.
Yeah, I said, I know I made a note, and I got to make a note of that about that, you know.
I remember seeing him. I don't remember him doing that.
Yeah, I do remember it now.
You take a look at it. Yeah, he's got that turtle. He's got that turtle, and he throws it in there, and then he looks at the TV, and
that kid just cost this movie another point.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I even wrote spoiled kid with chocolate on round mouth throws turtle.
I know it's ridiculous about chocolate on his mouth, man. I'm like,
I know, I'm like, dude, don't get a paper towel, man. Wipe yourself. You know, like, and I even had spoiled kid. I mean, all he did was that, but he was just a spoiled kid with chocolate on his mouth.
Better go find that turtle. You can sell it on eBay too.
Make some money,
right? Yeah. Go get it. I also noted, I read somewhere this was the last time they used that pool. Toho drained it after that.
Yep,
we talked about this before.
Yep.
This was the last time they used the pool. Yeah, and then that was the end of that.
It was getting a wee bit too dangerous.
Yeah, exactly. They were saying it was just that's basically it, man. I know I didn't hit too many of the negatives because
it's just a good movie.
They were overshadowed. Yeah, they were overshadowed by the positives. Yeah, so that's I gave it 4 stars.
I'm with you on that.
I mean, I'm definitely the odd man out here because if you bring in, I know RJ loves this movie. He's talked about it before. Jada, it's her favorite Godzilla movie. You two like it. I'm definitely the odd man out here for this one. But I mean, if it wasn't for how good the action, the fighting is, and the monsters are, I would have definitely lowered this, give it a little bit lower of a rating. But it is insane. I mean, if anything, it is absolutely insane and is a ride more than anything.
Oh yeah.
Let me put it this way: is it better than Godzilla '98?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh well.
Is it better than Son of Godzilla?
Oh, he's thinking hard here. I
got to.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm thinking of the human scenes in Son of Godzilla because also you got little fat turd buckets in Son of Godzilla too.
Well, that's why that's why I bring that one up because of the 2. What about Godzilla on Monster Island?
Godzilla's
Revenge.
Oh, yeah. Godzilla's Revenge. Oh yeah, I mean Godzilla's Revenge is like barely a nose above Godzilla. You know what I mean?
And then Godzilla on Monster Island. That was Godzilla versus Gigan. That one was actually pretty good. So
yeah, that's better in my opinion than this movie. But
this one really,
yeah, the tone again.
That one is a good one.
I see where Kitamura was trying to nail the 70s, but he didn't quite hit the 70s like the 70s hit the 70s.
Well, I agree with you that I think he said, this is what I want to do. And then Toho took his notebook and said, okay, well, we want you to do this, 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 and this. If you want to get paid.
Would you like your money? Do what we say.
So,
I think he's one of these movies that his story's in there and what he wanted to do is in there. But a lot of stuff was interjected into there. If that makes any sense to you guys.
Definitely was.
They'd say, well, we need you to do this in here and we need you to do that. Whether or not he's the one that decided to put Godzilla 98 or Zilla 98 in there. I don't know if that was so much his decision. I'd love to hear
whose decision that was,
whether it was Toho or him to put it in there. I mean, it was a good decision. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, absolutely.
It was cool. But I wonder if that was his original vision.
I just love that
Toho said, no, we want that.
Sony had no say so in the matter. They're like, you can't do this. Yeah, they can. They own it. Like
they own.
But most people don't know. Toho actually owns Zilla. Like not.
Yes.
Toho owns the rights to that character. That was part of the agreement, which is why the name legally was moved to Zilla. As far as the trademark on it. So,
yeah.
I mean, even though there's things I don't like about this movie, it is an enjoyable film. I gave it the lowest. I gave it 3. We rounded up to a 4 still. But I mean, for those who haven't seen it,
majority rules, Mark.
There we go. There we go. We did it.
Yeah.
For those who haven't seen it, definitely watch it because I'm again one out of most everybody I talk to, especially including these 2 guys, like this movie a lot. I mean, people love this movie. It did get, especially in Japan, got really good reviews. I mean, the initial critic response was really good for it. It didn't get negative response really until it got the critics over here in America, and American critics suck anyways.
Yeah,
hopefully none listen to this show after I said that. But
yeah. So technically, on this podcast, are we critics? Okay,
we pretend to be. Yeah.
So you just said I suck, man. What's
y'all
the problem
suck.
here?
Y'all like this movie? No, so it's entertaining, man.
I know. Zilla. If you talk to Emmerich, he'd say those guys are critics.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. Have we? I mean, of all the movies we've done, I think that one and maybe one more, we just skewered the heck out of it.
Oh yeah, that one goes down as having the lowest rating of the Stompdowns.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
bar
none.
So, yeah.
I mean, none come close. So
the only one that comes closer to me in my personal experience is the one that Mr. McLean suggested for us that I thought was going to be great.
Oh yeah, Colossal. Yeah, that was pretty
Colossal. Yeah, that was pretty low.
Love you, Justin, but what the heck, man?
But and by the way, both Justin liked Colossal, and he's the lone defender of Godzilla.
See, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense.
It's all coming together.
It is.
He's the lone defender. So it's all coming together. So hey, I wouldn't doubt it. You might check and see who the real eBay buyer of your.
Ooh, good call. Yes.
Well, see, I don't know, because to be honest, it's going to Texas.
Oh no, it's going to Texas. Yeah. You know what? It may be my nephew.
I'm pretty
I don't know.
sure
He's the
what
only
we need
one.
to do is keep a close eye on that shelf up there above his shoulder.
Yeah, I know. It even shows up one day all of a sudden.
That'd be great.
All right. Well, you guys got anything else you want to say on this one?
I'm good.
I'm good too. I'm good over here.
It's a great movie to watch. It is entertaining, even though there's things that drive me nuts about it. I mean, Godzilla looks awesome. Monsters are amazing. Tons of action. Plus, above anything else, you got Don Fry in this movie, and Don Fry is awesome. So, all right. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. Check the movie out. We just finished the initial Godzilla run. I mean, we got more coming, but now Godzilla's taking a 10-year hiatus. We don't have to wait 10 years. Because we'll be back. Of course, we'll be back soon with the Mummy, continuing Universal Monsters, but then we will tackle on the beginning of Legendary Pictures' Godzilla run with 2014 Gareth Edwards film Godzilla.
American Redemption.
Oh yeah, yes, which was definitely needed.
2014.
So, so we're pretty excited about that. So again, check out Final Wars. We will be coming back here pretty soon with the next episode for the Mummy, the next Universal Monster film, and this one's fun. Actually, very entertaining movie. I do like this one. Not quite as much as maybe as Frankenstein or Dracula, but it's still really good.
I really enjoy the Mummy. And it's kind of one of those movies that's grown on me over the years.
Yeah, the more I watch it, the more I'm like,
yeah,
it's a comfortable film to watch. Yeah. So, so we'll be back with that one, and then we'll return again with Gareth Edwards' Godzilla.
There we go.
Again, this is Sludge
and Mark.
You got Ruben in Texas.
Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Night, guys.
We have a call.